Since 1907, when the first mining leases were taken out here, the rich iron ore deposits of Koolan Island have featured in the minds and lives of Western Australians. 85 years on, in 1993, this colourful chapter in our history comes to an end with the closure of BHP's mining operations on Koolan. For the hundreds of men, women and children who have lived and worked in this unique environment, it means the end of a job well done, with sad goodbyes and a new start somewhere else. For the mining industry in Western Australia, it is the end of an historic era. The iron ore wealth of the Yampi first came to light in the 1870s when the pearling luggers used it for ballast. But the first mining leases on Koolan and Cockatoo Islands were taken out in 1907 by one Percy Keane of the Australian Prospecting Association. Over the following 50 years, there were many unsuccessful attempts to get mining on Koolan underway. No real progress was made until 1932, when the Koolan lease was purchased by Harold Buckley, a mining engineer who went on to play a major role in Yampi mining activities throughout the 1930s. In 1936, the lease was acquired for the Yampi Sound Mining Company, a joint British and Japanese venture, and the development of the Koolan lease began in earnest. In the following year, 1937, the historic Yampi Industrial Award was signed aboard the motor scow Yampi Lass, anchored in the bay now known as Arbitration Cove. Significantly, this important event was to be echoed 54 years later. In August 1991, a new award between BHP and the mining unions was signed aboard the 120,000-tonne ore carrier Oyashima Maru, berthed in the same Arbitration Cove. Development work on both Koolan and Cockatoo Islands was interrupted by the outbreak of war in 1939, and in 1940 all work on Koolan ceased. BHP acquired the Koolan lease in 1952 and in 1959 began preparations for full-scale mining on the iron ore deposits. The first shipment of ore from Koolan was made on the 21st of January 1965 on the ore carrier Iron Dampier. The rest is now history, with Koolan Island becoming a major source of iron ore and making an important contribution to the wealth of Western Australia and the nation. For everyone who has worked and lived on Koolan, the unique and challenging lifestyle provides many lasting memories. The isolation and the extremes of climate place enormous demands on the men and women of Koolan. With hot and humid weather for months at a time and the annual threat of cyclones, working conditions are often very trying. And the remoteness of Koolan adds further to stress of life here. In these conditions, the people of Koolan have worked together to achieve remarkable results. They have mastered the many challenges of mining in a remote and often difficult location. And individually, they've shown great ingenuity and determination in their work. For example, in recent years, as mining operations descended to 70 metres below sea level, there have been many technical difficulties of mine slope stability and dewatering. These have all been successfully met with typical Koolan ingenuity and initiative. Who has not been affected by the spectacular beauty of this remote location? Blue waters and blue skies, a paradise of fishing and boating, a rich treasure of memories of Koolan and the surrounding areas. The remoteness of Koolan has always fostered close bonds between people. And who will forget the strong sense of community and the sharing of enjoyable experiences which is so much part of the life here? And there'll be wonderful memories of mateship, at work and at play. Above all, there's the pride and satisfaction of contributing to a job well done. In over 30 years, BHP's Koolan operations have played an important role in several different areas. In that time, Koolan has mined 185 million tonnes of ore and waste to produce around 60 million tonnes of iron ore for export. this has been a major contribution to the economy of Australia. Koolan Iron Ore has also made a significant contribution to domestic steel production at BHP steel operations on the east coast of Australia. The high-quality grade of the ore has won worldwide recognition for its low levels of impurities, putting Koolan at the forefront of Australia's ore reserves. And at a local level, Koolan has had a major positive impact on the economic development of the Kimberley region. All those who've worked on Koolan have been part of this unique era in Australia's mining history. Koolan means many things to many people, and now it's the end of an era.